Hi, this is Mrs. Robertson, and today we are going to do our 2D study guide. The test is tomorrow. We also have a 3D study guide, but we're going to do the 2D study guide first. Say hi, third period. Hi. Nice job. Okay, so let's look at our problem here. And yes, you will be allowed to use a calculator. So if you want to quietly get a calculator while we're going over this, you may do so. Number one is a trapezoid. Now, kids, unfortunately, for you, you have to have the formulas memorized. So in problem number one, write down the formula for the area of a trapezoid. It's the height divided by 2 times B1 plus B2. Now again, the B sides are the sides that are parallel, and the height is the distance between the parallel sides. So those are your B's, and this is your height. Now, once again, you do get to use a calculator, so it makes it very friendly. You write your formula down. Then you say A equals, what's your height? 13.5 divided by 2 times 8 plus 18. You write that on your paper, you get half your points, okay? Then you use your calculator. You're going to do 13.5 divided by 2. That will give you 6.75. So A equals 6.75 times 8 plus 18 is 26. Multiply those together, and you are going to get 175.5. It's area centimeters squared. And it's always good to put your answer also on the answer blank. Okay, and any questions? Very nice. Now, number 2 is a composite shape. We have 2 shapes that we are going to add together. You have a rectangle on the bottom, and you have a trapezoid on top. Okay, so I'm going to put area, and I'm just going to draw a rectangle so I know which one I'm doing. And you all know it's base times height. So it's 25 times 40. Write this all on your paper, kids. And then when you multiply 25 times 40, you get 1,000. This shape. Okay. My parallel sides are 65 and 40. So these are my B1s and my B2s. 65, and you know this is the same as that, so it's 40, right? Does everyone see how I got the 40? So now I'm finding the area of a trapezoid. The height is. Now that's a little challenging. Watch. We need to find the distance from here to here. How far is that distance? Well, from here to here is 55. From here to here is 25. So 25 plus that distance equals 55. 25 plus what is 55? Well, you just do 55 minus 25, because you know that distance 25. It's going to be 30. So my height is 30, and you have to divide it by 2 because it's a trapezoid. Remember, the shapes that begin with a T, triangle and trapezoid, you divide by 2, which also begins with the letter T. Got it? Okay. So now our area, So 30 divided by 2 is 15 times 65 plus 40 is 105. So what is 15 times 1? That's what I got.
I did.
Good. I feel better. Somebody else has it. So that's 1,575. Do I add these together or do I subtract them? They're two shapes put together, so you add them. Yes. So to get the answer, you're going to have 1,000 plus 1,575, and you get okay. Explain how you found the area. You found the area of the rectangle, found the area of the trapezoid, and added them together, right? You could all say that. All right. Now let's do number 3. It's a similar problem. This looks like a house. I'm going to find the area of the rectangle, which is 12 by 10. And then you're going to find the area of the triangle. Okay, now we'll talk about the triangle. We'll do the rectangle first because it's the easiest one. So, the area of the rectangle is the area of the triangle. The area of the triangle is base times height divided by 2, right? This is your base. How far is it from here to here, kids? What's that distance? It's the same as that, isn't it? So what is the base? 10. Everyone see that? So it's going to be 10 times, how tall is it? 5. And it's a triangle, you divide it by 2. So 50 divided by 2 is 25. Do we add the two areas or do we add them together? So you have 120 plus 25 and you get 145 yards squared because we're doing area. Thumbs up on those. Very good. Now let's do number 4. Number 4 has a cut out. When there's a cut out, we're probably going to, there's no probably, you subtract. That's right. So here it wants the area of the rectangle and the area of the parallelogram. The area of the rectangle is going to be 31 times 18. Aren't you glad you get to use your calculator? Makes it faster, doesn't it? 558. Then you find the area of your parallelogram, and it's base times height. The base is 13, and the height is 6. You get 78. What do you do with those two answers to get the shaded part? Do we add or subtract them? Subtract. That's right, because this is cut out. So 558 minus 78. Did you get 480 millimeters squared? Explain. Well, what did you do? You find the area of the rectangle. You find the area of the parallelogram. That's a bad drawing of a parallelogram. Then subtract the answers. Subtract the areas. And that would get you all your points for your explanation. Okay, kids, any questions? Very nice job. Now let's go on to the next side. The artist is using tiles in the shape of a parallelogram to make a mosaic. The tiles have the dimensions shown. What is the area of one tile? Now here, you know that the area equals base times height. Now I think everyone sees that 8 is the base, right? Now which one is the height? Is 4 the height or is 7 the height? Remember, the height is the distance between the parallel sides. These are the parallel sides. Which one's the height? The 4. 4 is the height. The height is the distance between the parallel sides. So, area will be 8 times 4. So it's 32 feet squared. All right? They'll try to trick you on these, but remember, it's base times height, and the height's the distance of parallel sides. On the test tomorrow, if you want to bring a few highlighters to help you on it, you're more than welcome to use highlighters on your test and a calculator. Okay? Everyone good? All right, let's go on to the next one. We have a triangle. What is the area of the triangle? Area of a triangle, you all know it begins with a T. Base times height divided by 2. Okay? Everyone knows this is the base, right? And then you look for that little thing here. This is the height. The height is always, you look for that little perpendicular box, and that's your height. Okay? Now, since you use a calculator, what are you going to put in for 18.5 in your calculator? 18.5. 1/2 is the same thing as 0.5. So area equals 18.5 times 15. It's a triangle. It begins with the letter T, and so does 2. Divide it by 2. Then you take your calculator. 18.5 times 15 divided by 2. Did you get 138.75? It equals 138.75 inches. It's area squared. Always look. What am I finding for my answer? Area. Areas are 2's. Got it? Now let's go on to number 7. Am I going too fast? Wonderful. You are a great group of kids. And problem number 7. A triangle has a height of 4 inches and an area of 60. What is the length of the base? Draw a picture of the triangle. Well, I know the height is 4. I don't know that. And I know the area is 60. Well, let's start by writing the formula for the area of a triangle. Area equals base times height divided by 2. And you are very good with your formulas, kids. I have noticed that. Under the A, what am I going to put? It tells us that the area is 60. Area is 60. So under the A, I'm going to put 60. And how did they get 60? Well, we know that the height is 4. So I'm going to replace the H with the 4. Now we don't know what B is. We know B times 4 divided by 2 equals 60. So something times 4 divided by 2 is 60. There are several ways of doing it, but we're going to solve it algebraically. First, how do you undo dividing by 2? We multiply both sides by 2. Now, some of you can look at it and figure it out. That's okay. 120 equals B times 4. What times 4 is 120? How do you figure that out? What's the opposite of multiplying by 4? Divide by 4. Okay. You can use your calculator. 120 divided by 4 is the answer 30. 30 equals your base. Now, so it's 30 just inches, okay? Why? Because the base is a straight line, so it's just going to be inches. It's a one dimension, okay? One dimensions are straight lines. Two dimensions are areas where you're finding the flat squares, and three dimensions are cubes. It's a length and a width and a height. Okay, everyone doing pretty good on this one today? Now let's do our last easy problems. Okay, first of all, how many degrees are in a triangle? 180. Put 180 under the triangle. How many degrees are in a quadrilateral? Yes, 360. If you forget, a square has 4 right angles, and a right angle is 90. Just take 4 times 90, and that gives you 360. So if you can't remember, just remember a square is a quadrilateral. It has 4 right angles. Those are 90 degrees. 4 times 90 is 360. And a triangle is half of it. So half of 360 is 180. Now let's find these. This box means it's a 90. So you take 49 plus 90, and that gives you 139. It's a triangle. So the sum of the angles in a triangle are 180. Subtract. That's now a 7. You could use your calculator, kids, to double check. 41 degrees. Did Mrs. Robertson do that right? Did everybody get 41 degrees? Always double check. In this one, you're going to take 48 plus 48 plus 132. Add them together. Then I subtract it from 360. And you get 132 degrees. Any questions on these problems? Everyone good? Very nice. Now we are doing our volume study guide, and we're going to talk about 3D or three-dimensional shapes. Okay? Now in question 1, how many cubes with half-inch side lengths will fit in a 1-inch cube? Well, we made a cube like that in class. This is what it looks like here. You can sort of see a little bit. The bottom has 4, and you have two rows of 4. So how many cubes a half an inch would be in a 1-inch cube? Well, you have 2 by 2 by 2. Length times width is 4, and you have two rows of 4. The answer is 8. Did everyone get 8? The next one is the 1/3 of an inch. If your inch is cut up into thirds, how many cubes would be in your 1 inch? And we made one of those. On the bottom, 3 by 3 is 9. You have 9 on the bottom. How many rows of 9 do you have? 3 rows of 9. 9 plus 9 plus 9, or 9 times 3 is 27. There are 27 cubes, 1/3 inch cubes in an inch. And how do you figure it out? 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. Then we go to 1/4 of an inch, and we made one of those in class. Here, it's 4 by 4. So on the bottom of this cube, 4 times 4 is 16. And how many rows of 16 do we have? 4 of them. So 4 times 4 is 16, and 16 times 4, 64. Then we did 1/5. Pretend this is an inch. I know, these are supposed to be the same size, but I didn't have 1/5 inch blocks. I only had this size, so we just pretend that this is the same size as that. Okay, How many are in the base of my 5 by 5? 25. How many rows of 25 do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're going to have 5 times 5 is 25 times 5 equals 125. Okay, it's three-dimensional. You multiply three things together for a rectangular prism. Everyone good with that? Good. On the test, these will be by my window if you just need a little reassurance, okay, on what that looks like. Now let's go on to our next problem. What is the volume of this shape? For 4.5, what are we going to use in our calculator? 4.50 or 4.5. Here we go. Volume equals length times width times height. It's three-dimensional. So you're going to take 6 times 4.5 times 8. And the answer you get is 6 times 4.5 times 8. Did you get 216? Now this time it's a volume answer, so it's 216 inches cubed, or you could write 216 cubic inches, correct? Nice job, kids. Now let's go on to the next problem, number 6. In problem number 6, how many half-inch cubes, inch side lengths, will fit inside the prism of number 5? Okay, well, you take your answer in number 5, 216. How many cubes are in an inch that are a half? 8. And you just multiply them. You take 216 times 8. Use your calculator. 216 times 8, 1,728 cubes that are a half an inch cubed. Okay? So what do? You multiply, because a half an inch is half the size of an inch, right? But it's three-dimensional, so you have to do 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. That's where I get the 8 from. Now let's do the next one. Number 7. How many cubes with 1/4 inch each side lengths will fit inside the prism? Okay, how many 1/4 are in an inch? There are 64 little cubes in an inch, right? And this thing was 216 inches cubed, so you're going to take that number, 216 inches times 64, because we're doing little bitty cubes that are only 1/4 of an inch. So 216 times 64, 13,824 1/4 inches cubed. Okay, so 13,824 1/4 inches cubed. And it says, explain your reasoning. Well, you multiplied it by 64 because there are 64. Okay, I multiplied the volume by 64 because there are 64 1/4 inch cubes in an inch. That's why, okay? And you all knew that that's what you would do in that problem. Any questions? Once again, you're doing a fabulous job, class. Let's go on now and do problems 8 and 11. They are very similar to the ones that we just did. It's just to build confidence. I'm going to do number 8, and then I will let you do number 11 by yourself just to practice on how to do these. Okay, here we go. In problem number 8, volume equals length times width times height. 9 times 4 times 4. And that equals, did you get 144? 140 for its volume, inches cubed, okay? That's how many cubic inches if they were all an inch. But then, look, they don't want an inch. They want teeny tiny 1/5 of an inch. And how many cubes, how many 1/5 inch cubes are in an inch? It's on your other side of the paper. 125. 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. So you're going to take it times 125. So you're going to have 144 times 125. You can write it that way because you can use your calculator. And you get, 18,000. That's a lot of little cubes. 18,000, but these are only 1/5 of an inch cubed. Explain your reasoning. Well, it's just like what we wrote on the other page. I multiplied the volume instead of by 64. It's 125. I multiplied the volume by 125. Why? Because there are 125 1/5 inches cubed in 1 inch, or in an inch. I'm just going to put 1 on this one, okay? That's what you do. In this one, you're going to multiply 144 by what? How many 1/4 are in a, how many 1/4 inches are in a cube? 64. 144 times 64, 9,216. 1/4 inches cubed. Okay? Explain. I multiplied the volume. If you write this enough, kids, you're going to know exactly what to do on the test, right? I've told you, you just have to write it down. If you do it 10 times, you definitely have it memorized. I don't think you'd have to do this one 10 times to figure it out. I multiplied the volume by 64 because there are 64 1/4 inches cubed in an inch, or you could say 1 inch. Okay? Now, I want you to do the last problem by yourself. That is your homework, and I want you to study before you take the test tomorrow. I will have these videos posted. I am going to check to see how many people watched my videos. I want to see all of my students watching my videos before you go to bed tonight or in the morning. Okay? Have a good day, everyone. I look forward to you watching my videos tonight. Bye-bye. Bye.